the thing that concerns me about Leicester, in terms of looking at what they've done so far, is just inconsistency. Inconsistency is the word that comes to mind. Because, yes, amazing game against City, but the first half an hour, they looked poor. They didn't look interested. But they have that gear, they can switch into it. On the other hand, against West Ham, started great, but then switched off and just completely crumbled. So I think the thing about Leicester is they just need to keep consistency throughout nine. I'm not talking about game to game. I'm just talking about a 90-minute match.
Yeah, through the game. Yeah.
Perform well from the beginning to the end of the match. And even in their win against West Brom, there were parts where, but just West Brom on a good enough side. So I think that's the biggest thing to watch out for with Leicester in terms of trying to take in what we've seen so far from them.
So I guess when you think about it, it's interesting you say being consistent for 90 minutes, putting in, not just showing up for half the game or for 60 minutes and then making mistakes in other parts of the game. Let's act like you're Brendan Rodgers and then tell me what you think about the Europa League, because they've been drawn into a tough group. How do you think that's going to be approached?
And it's an interesting question because I said in the last video, I think something that's going to be so important this season is depth. Depth is going to be massive. Got more games over a smaller period of time, so you're going to be looking down that bench. And I just worry that Leicester don't have that depth, that they're one or two injuries away. Never mind injuries, just, in terms of rotating, keeping the squad fit, I just don't think they have the same as the bigger teams. But they're going to go for it in Europe, don't get me wrong. But I think Premier League has to be their priority, especially how close they got last season.
Yeah.
And they just fell off at the end because they were kind of second, third in the pack. They were ahead of all these other teams below them. They were the team up there with Man City trying to chase Liverpool for a while, and then it all kind of fell apart.
Yeah, and I think you look at the,
that just highlighted consistency last season. That was over games and games, not just one match, but inconsistency is the word with Leicester, I think.
Leicester's always been great, especially since they've won the league. They've always been a good team, but I think he's really brought them back to being actually a force in the Premier League and not just a mid-table side.